What's up? Hey, what's good? What's poppin'? I am Miss Berry. Welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you guys for sliding through and coming to kick it with me, y'all. Happy 2023. Happy New Year to each and every one of you guys. We have finally made it to the new year. Today's January 1st, 2023. Y'all, I'm super excited. New day. We got to start it off right. New beginnings, y'all. All of that. But you know, some people do say that your new year start like on your birthday, and then I hear that your new year is really supposed to start in spring when everything start blossoming again. So I don't know, it just, you know, it makes you really wonder. But you know, everybody beliefs are different. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think. But anyway, as you guys can see from the title, this video has been on my list to do since I came across it, of Candace, you know, exposed. It's a lot of stuff going on, y'all. I'm not really gonna talk too much as I've already been talking, so let's go ahead and get straight up into it. All right, y'all, so I hope that each and every one of you guys enjoyed your holiday.
Can you create a mind? And the answer is, of course you can. From the very time that you are born, your mind is being created via routines, via information that you are taking in every second of every day. And of course, your government has an interest in your mind and the information that you're taking in. This gets into culture. This gets into MK Ultra, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, a CIA operation when they were interested in literally mind control. Were willing to drug people with LSD to see if they could control their minds and influence their thoughts.
Too much.
This gets into the mainstream media. This gets into Operation Mockingbird, which we've talked to you about on the show so many times. In fact, the CIA was controlling journalists. They still are controlling journalists, obviously. I think it'd be ridiculous for people to think that they suddenly stopped that program when they got caught. They want to make sure they are shaping your thoughts to ensure that they themselves can remain into control. And this is why the government does not like people like me, right? A girl that just pops up on YouTube and starts going against the narrative. They will do anything to protect that narrative. Now, obviously, they were able to do this so easily in the past, right? They had to make sure they controlled the New York Times, the Washington Post. People were getting all of their information by reading newspapers and magazines. It was very easy for them to control those older institutions, these legacy media institutions. But things got a little tricky, of course, with the explosion of the internet, especially with the explosion of social media. And of course, they weren't just going to go, yeah, let's just let that continue as the Wild West and let people just say what they're thinking and connect with each other all over the world. Common sense would follow if they were interested in putting having journalists that were on their payroll and journalists that they could control in the newsrooms. Of course, they also want to make sure that they are controlling people at social media companies, which is why what Elon Musk is doing right now is so brave. He has been dropping Twitter files showing that our government is, in fact, lying and shaking information. Now, before we get into...
It shows you how much I know. I didn't know that was Elon Musk doing it. I had, you know, I've been hearing a little bit of this or that, which drove me to actually Candace's video, just from, you know, just little things that you hear. So that was pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
Recent Twitter file drop. I wanted to tell you guys about a true CIA experiment that happened. Now, I don't know if it was an apple or an orange, so these details might not be, it's not actually relevant whether it was an apple or an orange, but a CIA psychological operation that took place was they had a bunch of people that worked for the CIA who were a part of the experiment. And then they had one individual that was just taking part in this experiment, right? They brought them into a room. They sat them down at desks. And unbeknownst to that one individual, this one individual thinks that the entire classroom, if you will, are just like him, people that were pulled off of the street to take place in an experiment. But in fact, he's the only person that they are experimenting on. And so what did they do? They held up a picture of an apple. Just imagine this, right? A picture of an apple. And they went around this classroom of adults and they said, what is this? And they told every single person to say that it was a banana. So imagine they go around this classroom and the first guy says, it's a banana. It's very clearly an apple. The next guy says, banana, 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 banana. What do you see? Banana. And then they get to that guy who has no idea that he is the only person that is the only person that is being experimented on. And this guy says he sees a banana. It's very clearly an apple, But of course, by the time they had gotten around this entire classroom, he's starting to question whether or not he's crazy. Why am I the only person that's seeing an apple? So what does he do? He just falls into line. He says a banana, right? Because his instinct is to fit in, maybe. His instinct is to think, I don't want to be the crazy man out. If everybody else sees a banana, it must be a banana. It's a very interesting psychological experiment that they did because it shows that even if the information is false, and even if it's obviously false, if you get enough people to say something, then the other people, the sane people will fall in line. The sane people will fall in line with insanity. And we see this, by the way, taking place all the time, every single day when we ask ourselves, how did we get into this society where you have people actually saying that children can pick their gender and that men can be women? Well, especially social media creates this peer pressure, creates this idea that if you don't see that the man who is in a dress is clearly a man, then there's something wrong with you. Maybe it's your bigotry, maybe it's your own eyes. It's all of these preconceived notions. You start questioning your own sanity in the world that we are in. Mm-hmm. And the recent Twitter files actually have shown that the Pentagon is in on this. The Pentagon is in on working with social media companies to control ideas. And I've noticed this, by the way, just myself on Twitter. I always say Twitter is very obviously heavy on bots. Mm-hmm. I will tweet something and within 3 seconds, somebody will tweet a response. It's not really a real account. I look over, it's an anonymous account that's got maybe 2 followers. The egg, the famous Twitter egg just cracked today, and they just hate me. It's almost like it's their full-time job to say things that are against what I am saying. And I've always said, this is so obvious, these are not real people. But to get this confirmation in the form of these Twitter files being dropped, it's stunning. They have now confirmed that Twitter colluded with the Pentagon to run a network of fake accounts. Do you understand how severe that is? That our government is colluding with social media companies to run fake accounts to shape your mind and to shape your ideas. This particular story is about Pentagon working to promote fake accounts in the Middle East, which praised U.S. policy. Despite, of course, Twitter saying for years that they make concerted efforts to detect and to thwart any government-backed platform manipulation. No, that's not real. They are working and they're holding hands with the United States government and the Pentagon to make sure if they can control the narrative. The collusion spans at least 4 years, from 2017 to 2020, and saw top Twitter executives liaise with military intelligence on a covert online psychological operation campaign, promoting accounts, including one that claimed that the United States drone bombings in Yemen killed only terrorists. Imagine that. They are trying to tell us, and they always say this, by the way, they kill civilians in the Middle East all the time, right? So if you're still one of these people that's hanging on to the idea that our government only kills terrorists in the Middle East, you have got to wake up. You have that.
Oh, the ad just had to mess us up.
Please say your name and spell it.
I'm God.
This year, I'm going to make it my mission to get my premium back. I say this and then I get off.
You have that idea in your mind because of operations like this. So they colluded to pretend that they weren't bombing civilians in Yemen, and they said, okay, well, it's only terrorists that are being killed, and that is not true. Of course, it's not true. But imagine if you're one of those people that are in that country, and your loved one got killed. Your loved one was a civilian, had nothing to do with anything, and they got killed, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go online and you're trying to talk about the fact that your innocent wife, your innocent daughter, your innocent child just got bombed by the United States. And you got a bunch of fake accounts that are making you look like you're a crazy person. It's saying that isn't real. That's not what happened. A bunch of fake accounts that are tweeting out that only a terrorist died. And those fake accounts are being controlled by the United States intelligence themselves. This means that we are not having free and honest conversations on the web. We are having government-backed conversations that are creating a narrative. Imagine how crazy you would feel if you could not share what you actually experienced, what actually happened to you, because Twitter executives are colluding with the United States government. It's crazy, and it's insane. It is a form of digital mockingbird, I think is what I'll call it, digital mockingbird. We're just going to say that this is what's happening, even though it's not what's happening. And what's funny is that the United States military influence operation, because that's what these are, these are U.S. military influence operations, really underscores the hypocrisy of our government. LOL to Russian influencing our elections. Oh my God, we have to be careful. Russia might be influencing, Russia influencing our elections. We have to be very careful, the government says. LOL to that idea, when our government is in fact influencing the international conversation, which of course would be influencing elections. Of course, if they are trying to inspire people to feel bad for the United States government, right? To feel like we're just trying to do the right thing and stomp out terrorists. Meanwhile, we're actually also killing civilians. I mean, consider what sort of a domino effect that would have on political conversations overseas. This is the tip of the iceberg. Obviously, this is the tip of the iceberg. And so you have to ask yourself, how much information do you believe when you are being told about what is happening overseas in any area of conflict? How much information do you believe is honest and true? Do you really believe that in the West, we are just doing the right thing at all times and just trying our damnedest to stomp out terrorism overseas? Of course, the obvious answer to that question is no, not at all. This gets into the military-industrial complex. Of course, it has to rely on lies. It has to rely on propaganda. It has to rely on their ability to control the flow of conversation and the flow of information. And we have to do everything that we can to combat that. So kudos to Elon Musk. I've said over and over again, he is not a national hero. He's an international hero. He understands how essential free speech is to freedom. And will we see any results regarding this information becoming apparent? No, probably not. Should people go to prison? Yes, of course people should go to prison for this. But these people won't go to prison for this because it's our government and they can do whatever they want, apparently, on our soil or overseas. There are no consequences when you have that much power and you have that much money and you keep taking money and power from people. All right, guys, the next portion of the show is going to be available exclusively on Daily Wire Plus.
So, yeah, y'all, we're going to end that video right there like that. It was a lot of information to make you think. I do know it's a lot of people that don't really care too much for Elon Musk, especially since he took over Twitter. I hear about him, people rap about him and stuff like that. Like, I know a little bit of his background, but I don't really know him too much. So I can't really say too much about it. I do be on Twitter, but I don't be on Twitter. Like, I don't really use Twitter as much. I'm, getting into, I just never really got with the whole Twitter thing. Like, I'll be on there, I might post here and there, but I don't know. But anyway, y'all, it's just crazy because it's like, for years, this is not the first time that we heard anything about, government control or this or that. It's been stories down the line, different years and stuff like that. And it's just, it's a lot going on. And I'm not gonna necessarily just disagree with Candace because, the government do control a lot of what we probably don't even know, we're not even realizing, you know what I'm saying? Some people are really just opening their eyes to see that. Like me, like, it makes you think, like, of course, like, I know, this and that, but when, just hearing Candace talk and, put different things in a different perspective, it was just like, so that's kind of where my mind is with it, just, storing all of this information in, forming my opinion. It makes me also want to just go look, but who knows, as quick as we heard about this is as quick as it's gonna probably just disappear. Like, we're not gonna hear it anymore because, got to keep everything together, got to keep everything in control and all of that. But anyway, y'all, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Let's talk about it. Also, should be some recommendations on what you guys would like to see me react to on this channel. Also, guys, go over to Candace's channel and show her some love by hitting that red subscribe button, y'all. Also, this original video will be linked in my description box down below, just in case you guys want to check it out on your own personal time. It's there though, y'all. Also, don't forget to thumbs up, like up this video. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this reaction video just as much as I enjoy reacting to it. Also, if you are new to my channel, don't leave without hitting that red subscribe button and ringing that bell so when I drop a new video, you guys will know. You won't miss it and you'll be right here. And as always, y'all, this thing got me thinking. Like, this video got me thinking in my mind about just deep. Sometimes your mind get deep, just out the blue, just get deep. You be. So that's how it is. Like, you just be sitting there and all of a sudden you daydream off, or I'm making these faces on purpose and stuff. But For all my deep thinkers out there, I feel like you guys understand what I mean. But anyway, y'all, until next time.